Hey everyone, welcome to Film Ranks. Today I'm going to talk about Interstellar. This is a film that I've been wanting to cover on this channel. I believe it's already 10 years since the film came out, so it came out in 2014, now it's 2024, so of course it's like a 10-year anniversary of this film. Um, this is a special film that I think deserves a little more praise because it's I can argue that it's somewhat science fiction, of course, with certain scenes, and it's one of the better space films that are out there. Um, I'm not gonna say that it's something better than Star Wars because I really like Star Wars, but I would say was films that are trying to be more realistic and science fiction at the same time. This film does really good. It's definitely one of the more memorable ones because there's a lot of other space films that are based on the real world but are really bad because they're either boring or their plot just doesn't make sense, or it's a messy movie and again it just is not as great or memorable. And this is one that is really great. I highly recommend watching, and I'm gonna definitely hit some spoilers in this review, so just be prepared for that. And I'm just gonna talk about things that work for this film, what I like, and the overall ranking of this film. So I actually want to start with what I don't like in this film because I feel like that's going to make it a lot easier for me to talk about the stuff I like and what I truly believe this film deserves as a ranking among other films. And what I didn't like about this film was that Matthew McConaughey's character, who's an astronaut, he decides at some point in this film that he's going to go through a wormhole, or in simple terms, a black hole. His decision to go into a black hole is extremely dangerous. He has basically zero odds of even surviving it, should anything happen, because black holes essentially just suck in a bunch of objects, matter, and mass that is nearby it, and it either destroys it and kills anything in the process of it being absorbed, or it just sends it into a vacuum space of nothingness, which is also the same as killing something, making it non existent, or disappearing. And I don't know why in this film that was the choice that the director or the creative team wanted to make. But I don't bash it too much because I think it was really interesting how they used that scene to make Matthew McConaughey's character Cooper connect with his daughter with some sort of string theory type of scene where he's like being able to see her at a younger age, because when he's in space she's already like a full grown adult, and when we see her in the first scenes of the film she's a kid. So Cooper's daughter Murph, that's her name, she's essentially a child, and she's an adolescent by the time he goes into a wormhole after a lot of events. This is like getting close to the end of the film when I talk about the whole wormhole scene. And I just think that the scene wasn't necessary, but I guess it was pretty cool because he can basically see her from a different point of time. So it's kind of like he's messing with time, or he's just in another dimension where he can see her and she can't see him. She can't see him, she can't hear him, but he can move other objects, kind of like a ghost in a horror film where it's like supernatural and just moving things around, and you can't see the ghost or whatever it is that's there. So yeah, it's like a bit supernatural in that sort of sense, but I guess it's pretty cool. I just think, yeah, like kind of being supernatural in a science fiction type film is a bit odd, but I appreciate the creativity otherwise. And other than that, this film is great. There's a lot of things to enjoy in this film. I personally enjoyed McConaughey's performance the most in this film. I think him taking the lead really worked for this film, and he played his part really well. I think his emotional scenes with seeing his daughter in video messages were pretty much as top tier as it gets in this film. And any moment he really has with his daughter is probably the most like the most wholesome that you will find in this film. So uh, yeah, I think that's what really brings it home to me. His connection to his daughter is probably the most wholesome that there is. Whenever he's with his family, that's where it feels more like things are going the way it should go. And then when he's not with her, it's kind of heartbreaking in a way, because he just wants to be with his daughter, more than just fulfilling this mission to find another place for humans to live on besides Earth. And that's an extremely hard task, to find a new planet for humans. And the way they go about this film is pretty good. I didn't have any issues with that. I just don't remember why there was a scene where he leaves Anne Hathaway's character to go in a wormhole, and he thought it was a good idea, but that's a suicide mission, and he just went with it anyways. So I just thought that was pure insanity. I don't know. I just kind of felt bad that he left Anne Hathaway's character behind, but it is what it is, and the ending was also really wholesome. So I just think that this film overall was great. I personally enjoyed it, and I think the soundtrack was also really great. It's one of my favorites to have in my playlist, and you know I just think that like Christopher Nolan films are like almost guaranteed to succeed with any audience watching it, because he really puts in time and effort to his films so that he produces high quality content that makes sense. And even when it doesn't make the most sense, he's being very creative, so it's not so out of touch with the film. Because I felt like the black hole scene could have felt completely out of touch to be used in this film, but he kind of like made you forget that he was in a black hole, because he had this very special moment trying to see his daughter and she couldn't see him and that sort of thing. So I feel like he's very smart about how he makes certain choices in films, and this is one where it worked to his favor, because I think the film performed really well. And yeah, it was really great to see McConaughey's character, of course, live even through that. So this film was definitely one to remember. And I'm not gonna really spoil the end, because I think it deserves to be watched by anyone who is still planning to see it. So yeah, I did have to touch bases with you know major plot points in this film, but I still think that the film at the end pretty much is as good. Yeah, I feel like this film pretty much lives up well to other great space films that I've watched. Um, I still feel like I need to watch other films like Gravity, or the Martian film with Matt Damon, but yeah, I still need to. There's still other space films that I need to watch to really compare it, but yeah, I just find it hard because I'm not really that into space films all that much. If it's not like like something like Star Wars or something like that, it's really hard for me to actually go and watch a film that's taking place in outer space. So um, yeah, if you know any great films, also feel free to let me know. But I know for sure that Interstellar is an excellent space film. You won't be so disappointed with this film, and you won't be disappointed with this film, and it's definitely one to remember. So that's all I got for this review, and I'll see you in the next one.